Howdy, folks. It is Diecastbuffet here again, and finally the winless streak for the fan favorite driver Chase Elliott has finally ended, and he got his second career win at Dover. And in my opinion, a classic Dover race, so reminiscent of the Gen 4 era Dover races, even the early Gen 6, even the COT era. This was one of the best Dover races I have ever seen. The battle of attrition, the lead changes, the pitch strategy. Everything about this event was second to none, and I would say the past maybe 10 years at Dover. Chase Elliott's 124 race win diecast. Most likely they're going to be offering a 164. You can even pick up a race win t-shirt for the fan favorite and most popular driver in the sport. And you can also save $5 on shipping with the promo code Diecastbuffet. Make sure to check it out down below at Circle B Diecast and Plan B Sales for any orders $30 or more. So I know I'm going to go ahead and order mine, so make sure to pick up yours. For a lot of people, this is probably going to be their first race win diecast of the Gen 7 era. Think about it. Gen 7 Napa Auto Parts paint scheme. That is going to be a very cool diecast. So let's get into it. So for a lot of years, I would say Dover has been looked at as kind of the redhead stepchild of the NASCAR circuit. It's one of the, in terms of the Gen 6 era, it was looked at as one of the worst racetracks because of the racing product, which is a reason why it went from 2 races down to 1. But I'm here to say that the Gen 7 has pretty much crossed every single check on the entire test for the 2022 season. I mean, think about it. It was fantastic at the plate tracks, fantastic at the road courses, 1.5 mile racing. I'm legitimately looking forward to 1.5 mile racing for the first time in almost a decade because of how good the racing is. Now, the short tracks, they're much better than Gen 6 in my opinion, but they could still improve those. And think about it, Dover, this race was exactly why I have been saying Dover is a great track, but they don't have a great race car. They finally do, guys. This race reminded me so much of Jimmy Johnson's first Dover win back in 02. The battle of attrition, the lead changes, the way these cars actually go around Dover, they float around. They're not stuck to the racetrack. You can run all the grooves you want. I'm telling you, man, this is a perfect setup. The Gen 7 cars at Dover, I'm thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed. This was one of the biggest challenges, I think, for the Gen 7 car, and it passed it with flying colors. The only other challenge I see on this circuit this year, in my opinion, is Pocono. If they can nail Pocono, it has passed every single challenge on this circuit. No doubt about it. In my opinion, Dover deserves 2 race dates because of this Gen 7 car. There was a time in the sport where Dover was advertised as destructive as Bristol, as Martinsville, and not as destructive as a Daytona, but it was advertised as a carnage racetrack because it provided 10 cautions every single race. We had like 12 cautions a day. This race was fantastic for every portion of it. Shame it got rained out. But let me tell you, man, it felt like an old school Gen 4 or even COT Dover race. 10 out of 10. One of the best races I have ever seen at Dover. Definitely a blast from the past before the Darlington throwback weekend next week. But man, I mean, think about it. Denny Hamlin looking like he was gonna run away with it as the worst luck you could imagine. Win stage 1, tire literally falls off coming off pit road, and then he gets hit by Cody Ware. It's just like the amount of luck for that 11 car is just really bad. Then Kyle Larson, I mean, just pretty much spins out after having one of the best Chevrolets in the field. Never could really get back up to the front to lead laps, but nonetheless, 2 really solid race cars taken out in the running here. Ross Chastain could not recover with the track position, trying to get back up there. Chase Elliott pretty much strong-armed him on those restarts. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., second place run. My goodness. If Gen 7 is not impressing you, I don't know what needs to, because the fact that the 47 car can be competitive at tracks like Dover is unbelievable. Think about it. Justin Haley was running fantastic today. There was times where Ryan Preece was in the top 15. It's unbelievable how cool this Gen 7 car is, and it continues to impress me. You know, I was going into this season thinking, okay, Gen 7 car, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? More likely than not, it's going to be a worse version of the 550 horsepower package of the Gen 6 era, which, if you've been a fan of the channel for many years, you would know I'm extremely critical of the Gen 6 era because of how poor a lot of the races were. I'm here to say, I'm so glad I'm completely wrong about it. I'm so glad that the Gen 7 car has exceeded every single expectation I have had for it. And I tell you what, man, if there was a time to get into the sport to be a fan, this is probably the best time in possibly a decade. We have not saw racing this good probably since 2013 or 2014, back in the early Gen 6 era, before they started, reducing horsepower and the extreme downforce era became. I'm telling you, man, it is incredible to me how fun this Dover race was to watch. I couldn't care less whoever won the race, regardless. Let's say it could be any driver in the field. The racing alone today and a little bit of yesterday was second to none. One of the best Dover races I've ever watched. In my opinion, Dover is a great racetrack that needed a great race car. It's one of those tracks where if it's bad, it's bad. But if it's good, oh, it's great. And to me, I look at tracks like Phoenix. I look at tracks like Kansas, right? I look at tracks like Richmond. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to produce great racing with the Gen 7 era, but I would much rather have 2 races at Dover than 2 races at Phoenix, 2 races at Richmond. I think Kansas is going to be a barn burner for the Gen 7 car because if it's good at Vegas, more likely not, it's going to be pretty good at Kansas, but they got to get 2 races here at Dover. And the crowd that they had for Sunday, it's so unfortunate they had the rain come in. I can't tell you the last time I've actually seen fans pack the corners at Dover. Like, Dover used to have grandstands, like, pretty much around the whole racetrack. If you go back and watch, like, the 2002 race at Dover, the whole place is packed. I mean, all around the racetrack. It's insane. And they freaking actually had fans packed around that racetrack. Sure, it's significantly less grandstands than they've had before, but we have not saw a turnout for a Dover race like this in a long time. In my opinion, racing was fantastic. The crowd was significantly better than I've seen in a long time. Dover deserves 2 race dates. I know we're trying to get a lot of new racetracks on the circuit. In my opinion, I think we should take Phoenix, reduce it down to 1 race, or another idea we could do. Why don't we do a doubleheader somewhere? Just like, what if we did a Richmond doubleheader in the middle of the summer, right? Just to free up 1 weekend. That way we could get maybe a playoff race at Dover. And that way we can have a spring and a playoff race. Because to me, Dover absolutely... We have not saw racing here, guys, in probably at least 7 to 8 years. That's what I'm saying. This was an incredible, incredible event. The parts failures, the tire wear, the lead changes, the pit strategy, the battle of attrition, the cautions, the weather, the red flags, everything played a part into this to make a classic NASCAR race. And again, it's not because of who won, it's just how the race played out. I mean, Stenhouse could have won this race. Ross Chastain could have won this race. Kyle Busch could have won it. It doesn't matter. To me, this was a fantastic race. If you have not watched this Dover race, make sure to go watch it when they have the full race replay on their YouTube channel. Make sure to check it out because it is one of the best Dover races I have seen in a long time. It reminded me so much of the Gen 4 and Gen 5 and the early Gen 6 Dover races that had so many cautions, so many crashes. I'm telling you, man, great, great racing. Passed it with flying colors. If this was a Gen 6 550 horsepower race, you would probably saw 1 driver lead 250 laps. You probably had less than 6 cautions, probably no parts failures, maybe 1 true crash. And the racing would be, the cars would be stuck to the racetrack. They wouldn't be able to float around and work multiple grooves. It would be completely night and day difference. And I'll even throw in the Xfinity race. I don't know what they've done to the Xfinity cars. You know, they're kind of vague on the rule changes they make in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. But something was significantly different about the Xfinity race. Those cars were on edge. They were able to move around and just go for it. I don't know what they did. Did they not add any, what are they, surface sealant, PJ1, whatever they add to some of these racetracks? I don't know if they've done that in the years past at Dover. I can't remember. But something was completely different. With the Xfinity race, it was fantastic. So absolutely, in my opinion, Dover deserves 2 race dates. It proved itself absolutely worthy of it. I'd love to know what y'all think. Make sure to comment down below, guys, and make sure to pre-order your Chase Elliott Dover race to win 134 diecast. It's going to be incredible. This is first win of the Gen 7 era, right? I know a lot of people are going to be wanting the Kyle Busch first Gen 7 win. You might as well go ahead and get the Chase Elliott one if you're a Chase Elliott fan. And most likely, I'm like 99% sure they're going to be offering a 164 for that as well. So make sure to go ahead and pre-order that as well with the promo code down below to get saved on shipping over there at Circle B Diecast. So, all in all, I'm excited for Darlington. Look, one of the most anticipated races of the year for me has been Darlington because Darlington, believe it or not, was actually really good with the Gen 6 era. It's like Darlington is such a rough and abrasive and just challenging racetrack that even if you put a car out there that is stuck to the ground and doesn't slip and slide much, it still makes those cars hard to handle. You add in a Gen 7 car, think about it. Look how tough Dover was, right? Look how tough Fontana was. Imagine how tough Darlington is going to be. It's going to be a barn burner, guys. I can't wait. Throwback paint schemes. Whole bunch of fun. It's going to be amazing, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully we have some great weather, and I'm hoping the trucks are racing this weekend too, because I miss the trucks. They should race each weekend. Anyways, folks, Chase Elliott gets it done. Gets, what, his 14th or 13th career win. Incredible stuff. And we're on to Darlington. So thank y'all so much for watching the video. If you can, please give it a huge thumbs up. And yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Diecast Buffet, signing off.